Saint Patrick of China, together with the company of his fellow brothers, said the following words, I quote, "Through divine grace, we are at the beginning of a new year. God alone knows whether we shall reach the end of it. So we should spend time in preparation for the past and in preparing for the future with good resolutions." Brothers and sisters, today we are gathered here also in the beginning of a new year. As Saint Patrick of Petrosina says, that we need to reflect our past in order to correct it and look at the future in order to make good resolution. Together we are here to look at the future, the new academic year 2022-2023. So I'm standing here for two main reasons. First of all, to give out the direction of the programs and also to give out some announcements as we proceed. So, the first thing there are two important activities that will be done here. Two most important activities. There are also other activities. Number one is the induction ceremony, just the first thing, and the second thing is the celebration of the Holy Mass. Now, we begin with the induction ceremony. What is the induction ceremony? Today we are going to welcome the New Year's, today the first time official in this compound, in this community, St. Bonaventure University. But this, what I mean especially, it has never happened here for about 31 years. Also, according to my research of last night, this is the first thing in Eastern, Central, and Southern Africa. It was made by one of us, a brother in the third year, and he mentioned to give him credits, Brother Gaetano. So this thing is the first in Eastern, Central, and Southern Africa. So, how is it going to be? The philosopher king, represented by Mr. Marello, the Dean of Studies, will come to the throne, led by two guardians that are the 5 years. So the philosopher king, Mr. Marella, will report at the throne with the two guardians right now. Then after that, the narrator, Brother Mesha, will come and narrate the famous Allegory of the Cave by Plato. So while narrating the Allegory of the Cave, because the first years, they're still in the cave. So when narrating the Allegory of the Cave, the first years will approach the throne with the philosopher king, Mr. Marella. While sponsored by the owners of this university, the second years. After that, during the narration, there's a place where they will remove the pieces of cloth on their eyes to come into light. Then other instructions will be given. So unlike the guidance to bring the philosopher king, Mr. Marella. Now we welcome Brother Michel Tembo to come and narrate the famous Allegory of the Cave by Plato, so that we institute the first years in this university.
Allow me to go straight to the allegory of the cave. Plato asks us to imagine some people living in a large cave in which from childhood they have been chained by their legs and legs so that they cannot move. People, because they cannot really take their heads, they can only see what is in front of them. Behind them is an elevation that rises abruptly from the level where they are standing. In this elevation, there are other persons walking back and forth carrying artificial objects, including the figures of animals and human beings made out of wood, stone, and various other materials. Behind these walking persons is a fire, and further back still is the entrance to the cave. The chained prisoner can look only forward toward the wall at the back of the cave. They can see neither each other nor the moving persons nor the fire behind them. All that they can ever see are the shadows on the wall in front of them, which are projected as people walk in front of the fire. They never see the objects or the people carrying them, nor are they aware that shadows are shadows of other things. When they see a shadow and hear someone's voice echoing the cave, they assume that the sound is coming from the shadow, since they are not aware of the existence of anything else. The prisoners then recognize as reality only the shadows formed on the wall. Plato then supposes that one prisoner is freed. This prisoner would look around and see the fire. The light would hit his eyes and make it difficult for him to see the objects, casting the shadows. If he were told that what he is seeing is real, instead of the other kind of reality he sees on the wall, he would not believe it. In his pain, the freed prisoner would turn away and run back to what he is accustomed to, that is, the shadows of the carried objects. Plato says that he would hurt his eyes and he would escape by turning away to the things which he was able to look at. And this he would believe to be clearer than what was being shown to him. Plato continues. Supposes that someone should drag him by force up the rough ascent, the steep way up, and never stop until he could drag him out the light of the sun. The prisoner would be angry and in pain, and this would only worsen when the radiant light of the sun overwhelms his eyes and blinds him. Slowly, his eyes adjust to light of the sun. First, he can see only shadows. Gradually, he can see the reflections of people and things in water, and then later see the people and things themselves. Eventually, he is able to look at the stars and moon at night until finally he can look upon the sun itself. Only after he can look straight at the sun is he able to reason about it. Plato continues saying that every prisoner would think that the world outside the cave was superior to the world he experienced in the cave, and attempted to share this with the prisoners remaining in the cave, attempting to bring them onto the journey he had just endured. He would bless himself for the change and pity the other prisoners, and would want to bring his fellow cave dwellers out of the cave and into the sunlight. The returning prisoner, whose eyes have become accustomed to the sunlight, would be blind when he re-enters the cave, just as he was when he was first exposed to the sun. The prisoners, according to Plato, would infer from the returning man's blindness that the journey out of the cave had harmed him, and that they should not undertake a similar journey. Plato concludes that the prisoners, if they were able, would therefore reach out and kill anyone who attempts to drag them out of the cave.
The greatest philosopher of all times, our Lord Jesus Christ, today in the Gospel tells us a very good question. Can a blind man lead a blind man? Will they not all fall in a pit? So today, I would like to ask the second year, the sponsors, to unfold the eyes of these first years who so that they can see the light right now.
Dear brothers, you were in the dark world, the world of senses that hinders the journey to the new world of reality. Now you have come to the light, the kingdom of thinkers, the world of thinkers, where the concept of good is ultimate. Once the good is achieved, then you have access to all the beautiful things to gain rights according to ethics and truth and reason intellectually. Then Bonaventure University, therefore, is going to pull you out of the cave and enlighten you in the real world with real objects. So, brothers, this allegory suggests that most of us dwell in the darkness of the cave, that we have oriented our thoughts around the unclear world of shadows. It is the function of education to lead people out of the cave into the world of light. The prisoner had to turn his whole body around so that his eyes could see the light instead of the darkness. Likewise, it is necessary for us to turn completely away from the deceptive world of change and appetite that causes a kind of intellectual blindness. Education, then, is a matter of conversion, a complete turning around from the world of appearance to the world of reality. The conversion of the soul, says Plato, is not to put the power of sight in the soul's eye, which already has it, but to ensure that instead of looking in the wrong direction, it is turned the way it ought to be. But looking in the right direction does not come easily. Therefore, those who have been liberated from the cave and achieve the highest knowledge, they must not remain in the higher world of contemplation. Instead, they should return to the cave and take part in the life and revels of the prisoners.
The Roman philosopher Marcus Fabius once said, God, that all-powerful, creator of nature, architect of the world, has impressed man with no character so superior to distinguish himself from other animals as the faculty of speech and correct thinking. The Roman philosopher Marcus says, one thing that separates animals from man is correct thinking and the faculty of speech. So like the first years, the new philosophers, or I could call you the philosophers' novices, may you please make a pledge to the philosopher king, Mr. Morel.
Pledge myself, devote my whole being to philosophical reasoning. I will never attack no one, but I will interact and reason philosophically in the kingdom of thinkers, so as I walk, as I live, as I swallow, as I drink, as I pray,
As I wake, as I pray, I will seek nothing but truth and wisdom. Through Plato, Aristotle, and and with the help of my fellow philosophers. So therefore, help me, philosopher king, that I may grow in this kingdom.
Now the mic goes to the king, the philosopher king, accepting the pledge from the philosopher novices.
Having listened to your profession and your witness, and your readiness to venture on this philosophical pilgrimage, on behalf of philosophers I welcome you to the SBU Kingdom of Leaders.
May we celebrate having a new group in our community. I want the guardians to take first the philosopher king back to his place. Then the first years, welcome to the kingdom of thinking, and you can take your seats right now. May we maintain silence? We are happy having the new band of philosophers among us. Before welcoming the main celebrant, I was told to insist of the following. The authority told me to insist of the following announcement. Before saying the announcement, very important announcement, I'd like to quote Soren Kierkegaard. Soren Kierkegaard says the following. Remember, he's a philosopher. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. Why am I saying the following? The following announcement comes from the authority. In today's Mass, the celebration of the Holy Eucharist, we are going to profess our faith, the Apostolic Creed. This is a Catholic institute. That's why there is a Vatican flag there. This is a Catholic institute. We are going to profess our faith. Yes, we are going to, in the realm of thinking, philosopher, reading the essentialists, the medieval philosophers. But the main thing in this university, in this institute, is not you becoming a Greek philosopher or a medieval philosopher. We are here to become Catholic philosophers. So while professing the faith, no matter what you're going to read in this academic year, the aim of this university is to become a Catholic philosopher and not a Greek philosopher or a Swiss philosopher, but a Catholic philosopher. Why am I saying the following? The authority, the rector, I say that we need to pray today in this profession of faith, the Apostolic Creed, that the good Lord may protect us from any heresy, from any heresy in our thinking, in our purpose, in our assignments. That the good Lord may direct us accordingly to the Catholic philosophers. We have great minds. We want great minds like St. Thomas, St. Augustine. We don't want minds like Nietzsche here. So brothers and sisters, before I'll conclude by the words of the famous philosopher, the late Anton Cardinal Bashi. Remember, he's a cardinal of the Catholic Church. He says, we are here to begin in this new year. It's a new era. It's a new dawn. I do believe this is going to be an amazing year, but not going to be easy. So the late Anton Cardinal Bashi, who died in 1971, a very great philosopher, says, we have resolutions here. Everyone has his thinking. The third years are thinking of the LEP. The second years are thinking of a new topic. The first years are thinking of Aristotle. So, Anton Cardinal Bashi says the following. As we enter the celebration of the Eucharist, Cardinal Anton reminds us of the following. These wishes in our minds, these wishes have no meaning, and these resolutions have no force if they are not accompanied by fervent and persevering prayers. All our wishes and resolutions this morning will have no meaning if we don't have fervent prayers and perseverance. And I'll conclude by our patron saint, Saint Bonaventure. If you learn everything except Christ, if you learn everything except Christ, you learn nothing. If you learn nothing except Christ, you learn everything. So I would like to welcome the main celebrants so that we may bring Christ in our lives so that we can learn everything and change the world. Father, Brother Gaspar, will you please aid us, lead us in this celebration of the Holy Eucharist. Have a great celebration.